If you're following Depp vs. Heard, you probably know that the media has not stopped attacking Johnny, saying negative things about Johnny, and the verdict has had an effect, but not exactly the effect whereas everything's solved, everyone's on the same page, and now people know Johnny's right. The people who are opponents of Johnny just keep going and going more and more. This is from Newsweek. It's called Johnny Depp Supporters Take Aim at Women's March for Supporting Amber Heard, which the Women's March did. And you could guess why. Just because Amber's a woman, that's it. This is from August 19th, 2022. Let's see what we got. The official Twitter account of the Women's March has been the subject of online criticism from fans of Johnny Depp after the organization recently voiced its support for Amber Heard. So they start off with a basic recap. Everybody knows that Depp and his ex-wife Heard were embroiled in a multi-million-dollar defamation lawsuit earlier this year. We know the details, so I'm going to pass by this. It's in every single article. Usually they save it for the end. Now, some are claiming that Depp fans have gone too far with their latest campaign against Heard after the term "Shut Down Women's March" started trending. Well, no, not really, because the facts and evidence are all out there. So the least people are asking, in the least case scenario, is to respect the verdict or don't say anything at all. Don't just blatantly take someone's side who's been proved to be an abuser and a defamer in a court of law after a 6-week trial, in front of a jury, in front of the public, in front of billions. On Tuesday, the official Women's March Twitter account posted a lengthy thread that looked into celebrities including Depp and the pervasive culture of misogyny and sexism that puts women in danger every single day. The post was spotted by Depp fans who commented and retweeted the post with harsh criticism for the movement. And here it is, from August 17th. Sexism and misogyny are the reasons so much of the internet believes Johnny Depp, not his victim, Amber Heard, despite all the evidence of his abuse. Change all to none. None. There's no evidence. The audio actually tells us the opposite. The audio tells us that Amber was in fact the abuser in the relationship, verbally as well as physically, now that I think about it. And by the way, for the official Women's March Twitter account, they don't have that much activity there. Alright, 4,300 hearts ain't bad for Twitter statistics. 2.7k replies are a lot of Johnny fans, not all people supporting them. Then they repeat what the tweet said and go on to say, wokeness will truly be one of the factors to our society falling. Twisty Tie wrote when retweeting the message, people who run these organizations are morons through and through, shut down the Women's March. And I've said that over and over here, over and over and over. One of the reasons that you will take Amber's side is because you're woke. What woke means, not what it used to mean. It used to mean just socially aware. I get it. You're thinking about social issues. But now that's been evolved into meaning a hypersensitive state where no matter what the facts are, you've got to take the side of a certain gender or race that's on the pyramid. Now, Amber Heard on the woke pyramid is higher than Johnny because she's a woman, period. The evidence doesn't matter to someone who's woke. The court case doesn't matter to someone who's woke. To someone who's woke, right now in 2022, that means you take Amber's side. This person is absolutely right. It's not the only reason you'll believe Amber, but it's one of the reasons. False accusations against men are as evil as silencing women from speaking out. Wonder Mom Wick wrote, do still support Amber Heard after it is clear that she is a liar is disgusting. Yeah, gotta agree. And not for nothing, but at least Newsweek is printing some of the things that are against Amber. And it continues. Your entire March to Lie wrote the account of Elsie Norise, who said they were all for shutting down the Women's March. They believe in Amber Heard after abusing Johnny Depp for years and turn a blind eye to all the evidence and allegations against her, they wrote. Another user, Breck Warsham, wrote about their personal achievements as a woman and claimed she never asked for special treatment before calling the people on the Women's March feminazis. Twitter user Ann Silver said, there's lots of reasons not to shut down Women's March, but re-victimizing a male abuse survivor taints your cause as anti-male sexism, misandry. And yeah, that's right, it makes them look like hypocrites, so they're better off just not saying anything at all, even if they do want to support Amber. And then they get into Michelle Dauber, and they say Michelle Dauber is a victim, but actually Michelle Dauber tweets out memes and nasty things about Johnny, so obviously Johnny fans are going to reply. Highlighting the verbal abuse being directed at the Women's March account, Stanford University professor Michelle Dauber shared screenshots of some of the extreme reactions. She implied it was a countdown until the Depp men's rights lunatics harassed them. Dauber also tagged Twitter and called on them to take action. Of course. Why? Why should Twitter take action? Alright, if people actually have real violent personal threats, take action, but that's not the case. People like Dauber, and by the way, the political side she's on, always go for this censorship. They want to censor and shut down voices. And that's one reason I can't totally take that side. Although I was on that side for like my whole life, but not after this. Dauber herself has been subject to abuse from Depp fans in the past. She predicted that the team at the Women's March is in for the same treatment now. Good. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is Amber's argument. I need freedom of speech to speak out about Johnny. But now Dauber wants to shut down freedom of speech? Doesn't make sense. Unless we found a hypocrite. I am sure on the Depp lunatic discords and subreddits right now, they're figuring out who works the Women's March, who their kids are, where they live, and where they work, she tweeted. And if they are lawyers, and if so, which bar committees to send false reports to, etc. Buckle up, Dauber wrote. Don't buckle up. Yeah, I'm sure there's some fringe Johnny fans doing stuff, but not the people with platforms who just want to spread facts and information and debunk smears like this. I mean, if Newsweek was trying to be fair, they could print some of Dauber's tweets where she's got some bingo board about Johnny, his ED, how he's aging, how his music sounds terrible, and all this kind of thing, and give their readers some facts and a broad scale of information so they know exactly why Dauber gets replies from Johnny fans. In response to Dauber's tweets, Depp fans once again directed criticism towards her for her comments via retweets. That's because her comments were pretty far-fetched. After the hashtag #ShutDownWomen'sMarch gained traction online, people criticizing the stance weighed in. Imagine actually tweeting "Shut Down Women's March" the same year Roe vs. Wade was overturned because you decided Amber Heard wasn't an abuse victim based off TikTok clips. Based off TikTok clips. What? Based off a public trial that went on for 6 weeks and studying the case for 5 years. TikTok clips were mostly jokes about a dog stepping on a bee and who put that out there. Also jokes about a turd on a bed and who put that out there. They don't mention the trial was publicly broadcast for millions, if not billions. But you know, the important facts don't really mix well with the media these days because we don't have much of a media anymore. We've just got a mix of people putting their opinions out there with no trustable sources, and Newsweek is on the bottom of the list of trustable sources. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. By the way, to be fair, since I'm using Newsweek's content, they have subscribed for $1 up there. If you want to, if you like this kind of smear on Johnny, this kind of negative hypocrite writing about Johnny, go ahead. And if you're not subscribed here, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.